Good morning. My name is Matthew Chapman. I'm the current chairman of the Indiana Soybean Alliance. I'm here on my farm here in Henry County, Indiana. We raise corn, soybeans, wheat, and pigs. I farm with my little brother. We began our partnership in 2014. Along with the Indiana Soybean Alliance, I'm also on the board of directors for the Henry County Soil and Water Conservation District, and we work on lots of different issues in the county to help preserve and protect our natural resources. A lot of that involves cover crop programs and helping farmers be more successful with their land and improve it for the next generation. Another outside organization that I'm involved in is the United States Poultry and Egg Export Council. And the Indiana Soybean Alliance has been in a partnership with them for several years, and they help promote our U.S. poultry and egg products around the world. And I've traveled to lots of places, done lots of trade missions. One of our most recent See for Yourself trips was a trade mission to Vietnam. And it was really eye-opening to see all of our products right there on the shelves, and all of our hard work, paid off. We just get a lot of value for our dollar in a lot of these foreign countries. And that's where we need to send the protein. And we were able to see many of our partners that we do business with. You know, we've toured the north half and the south half, and it was really just an amazing trip, and we're so proud of that work that gets done in the overseas markets. Stuff that farmers here in Indiana don't always see and can't always get their hands around or grasp. But it really is a lot of bang for our buck, and really impressive the way they can keep our products moving and promote the U.S. brand. Our 2020 harvest was successful, and our corn was above average, our soybeans were just average. And after we harvest our crop, we store most of it, and we're blessed to have storage for almost our entire crop. And the soybeans go to a local processor south of here, where it's made into soybean oil and soybean meal that we use for feed for the pigs. And a lot of the corn in this area, mine included, goes into the ethanol market. We have several ethanol processors nearby, and we're blessed to have a strong basis and a strong bid most of the year to find a home for that corn. So we've been blessed to have processors nearby, and we have very good infrastructure and trucks to get it there. On our farm, we soil sample every 3 years to see what our ground needs, from a fertility standpoint. And then along with synthetic fertilizers, we try to use as much of our fertilizer from our hog barns as we can. And that's the best fertilizer there is. It's slow release. It has all the different products you need when it comes to a fertilizer. And along with that, we variable rate all of our fertilizers, only put it where it needs it. And we've seen our yields just consistently improve once we started variable rating. And it's not necessarily that we use less fertilizer, it's that we put it where it needs to go. And we don't put it where there's plenty from years past. So that technology has really brought us a long ways and made us be more efficient with our money and with all the products we use. When we get the soil test results, we overlay that with our yield maps. Then we overlay that with our manure samples, and we can tell exactly what the previous crop used from an agronomic standpoint. We can also tell where the ground is deficient and needs more nutrients, as well as lime and other factors that we can buy and add to the ground to make it more profitable. So after we overlay all those, we can also use that technology in the planter to variable rate the seed and put extra seed where we need it, cut back seed where it doesn't make sense. So there's a lot of technology that goes in the farm, just like any new business today, and we try to update and keep up with that as much as we can. Along with the soil sampling and all the other variable rate technology, the manure from the hog barns has so much organic matter in it that you just can't buy. You can't buy that type of nutrition. And everywhere we put hog manure this year, the best crops will be in those same fields next year, just like clockwork. So you know that there's a lot of value there. And even for farmers that don't have their own livestock, there's a lot of guys around here that will buy poultry litter, have it trucked in to get the same benefits. So in a truly sustainable environment, that's the way the world is headed, trying to use that fertilizer from the animals to get the most benefit, and it's really shows it on our farm. In preparation for the 2021 crop, we start that back in the summer of 2020, and we lay out all our groundwork and figure out what acres are going to what seed and what all we need to make that happen and be successful. And then around Thanksgiving time frame, we start ordering all of our inputs, fertilizer, chemicals, and seed for the next year. And then we decide on what varieties, what maturities we're going to plant, as well as what herbicide program, fungicide, insecticide programs we're going to go with, and which package and company we like to use. And along with that, the pandemic, made a few things slow down. So we wanted to make sure we were early in our ordering process, wanted to make sure we had everything in the barn that we needed. We're able to store all of our chemicals, fertilizer for our spring planting, and that way we can take winter delivery. And along with that, you usually get a discount for buying early, taking early orders. So we try to do all those things to help make us successful, as well as all of our equipment maintenance, do that ahead of time over winter, and order as many parts ahead of time as we can. Each of these boxes behind me are what we use to get our bulk seed in. They hold around 2,000 pounds of seed. Both corn and beans often come in these boxes, as well as we get big bags, 2,000-pound bags as well, that are disposable. So depending on the company and the origin of the seed, we can get it in these bulk bags, and we can also get it in larger quantities as well if it makes sense logistically. On our farm, we use all GMO seed. We grow commercial corn that's has all the VT3 traits, which has insecticide built in it, fungicides built in it. The same with the soybeans. We try to get the newest technology using the Extend technology, and the new one is Extend-to-Flex, and we've been very successful with it the last couple of years. And with any business, you're always trying to keep up with the new technology and the new varieties, and we have seen the benefits of the yield and the potential for these new GMO products, and they're always changing, always making them better, and we've seen that benefit as well. We have two different ways to apply the fertilizer. With the hog barns, we use a ground rig, and we're required to inject it all by our county. So it comes out in a slurry form, and we haul it with a big tank and semi-trucks, and we inject it right into the ground. And we found that we get better coverage when we inject it, and the fertilizer stays in place. There's no chance of too much rain washing it away or moving it, and it stays where we want it to be. And when you plant the crop, the roots grow down, and that's where you want the fertilizer, is down where the roots can get a hold of it. So on our synthetic fertilizers, on our dry fertilizer, we spread those over top, and then we incorporate them with a disc or a plow to try to work them in to get the same effect. So we're always looking for ways to keep that fertilizer where you want it to be, and that way it's available for the crop the next year. So I'm here in front of my two different wheat fields. This one is your standard wheat field planted on 7.5-inch spacing, about 1.5 bushels an acre last fall. This will be harvested 4th of July, and we will come in here and put our hog manure on, and then this will be planted to corn next spring. This is your standard wheat we've been doing for 100 years, and it works well for what we need it for. But over here is my intercrop wheat. So this wheat is planted with half the rows missing on 60-inch centers. And then I come in between early, and I plant 2 rows of beans 20 inches apart in all of those strips. And that does multiple things. The wheat helps manage the water, and in the fall, when I need the water, I will harvest the wheat over the top, and that chaff from the straw will lay over top of them beans and hopefully hold the water in August when I need it. So that's what the goal is here. And I think looking forward into ways to manage no-till or a non-GMO method, this may be an option for me and a way to make the transition a little easier to get there, to help manage the weed pressure and to try to make the economics work. In a previous wheat double crop standpoint, you try to raise 100 bushel wheat and try to get 50 bushel beans. So with this method, I'm trying to flip-flop those. I'm trying to get 50 bushel wheat and 100 bushel beans. And how I'm trying to do that is give those beans a longer growing season. And then we're also going to manage that sunlight with the wheat crop. And when we harvest that wheat off the top, it's going to introduce all that new sunlight down low and hopefully improve the amount of pods that we can build on that plant. So this is a low input strategy, low cost method, but to try to get a high return and try to get 100 bushels out of the high value crop instead of the wheat, which is the low value crop. So that's the structure, that's the math behind it. Thank you all for visiting my farm today, and we look forward to when you all can come here in person and I give you the grand tour. So far we're off to a good start in our planting season, and God willing we'll have a good crop. And thank you all for all your support.